Yes. It's been a couple of weeks. Okay. Got that posted there. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. And we are live. Aloha and welcome to today's episode of Mystimon Saga: The Hidden Archives, a tale of horror and mystery powered by Pathfinder 2nd Edition. If you want to learn more about Mystimon Saga, please visit the link in the description below. And I am joined by our players today, and I'm going to toss around the horn and let them introduce themselves, starting with our newest player, Elle.
Hello. I'm Elle, and I'm playing Soma. How much do you want me to introduce myself and or my character?
About however much you want.
Oh, all right. I am playing Soma, an Alopeke witch, and yeah, we'll learn more about her, I guess, later.
Okay. And binary?
Greetings, I am
Ah,
Binary. I am playing the automaton known as Bastille. Uh, as you all know, but for a new person as well, they are a living metal automaton that looks to be quite damaged to the point of like having various dents, scratches, holes, everything of the sort. But otherwise seems to operate perfectly fine as they navigate the world in which they are a summoner.
Okay. And Firecat.
Okay. I go by Josh. I am playing Ryson. He is a Teal Dragla cleric of Merave.
Awesome. And we'll be joined later by Cybercat, who plays Frederick, a fighter. And today, we start things off a little bit differently. What do I mean by that? It has been 8 years since Hilltop City, in the northwestern peninsula of Atlantea, was abandoned when Evilon's hordes of undead and demons attacked. Since that event, which forced Hyokun Kamuya to flee with Gracian on a journey which would soon bring him back in touch with his estranged mother. The Hilltop Valley and the rest of the western reaches, since being scoured and attacked by the undead kings, has laid mostly barren, except for some native tribes here and there. Now, the King of Atlantea, Antlan, has called for a party of adventurers to join him at his palace in Konaset. And with your pedigree, he has called you. Because, well, you're quite well known in these parts now. Ever since you tracked down and killed that Vamprawl just a couple of weeks ago, your names have been all over the papers. You're something of celebrities here in Konaset. Your pictures are in the papers. There's a picture of you standing around this Vamprawl carcass, and it is on the front page of every paper. And as you arrive here in Konaset, along with Crystal, who seems a bit annoyed, as well as Kyrene Kamuya, who seems, confused, as well as her son Hyokun and his girlfriend Gracian. Bastille and Ryzen, you two are inundated by fans who want your autographs. And Soma, you see this huge group of people just crowding around this automaton and this Dragula at the dock. What do you all do?
I look down at the newspaper clipping that I have in my hand and look back up just to make sure that these are the people from the clipping.
Yeah, it is definitely them.
So for the last half a week, or however long it's been since people started asking for autographs, Bastille has truly arrived late to anything that they've been scheduled to arrive for, because they have stopped and given every single person an autograph that's asked, that has ever asked ever, once they understood what the purpose of autographs were. Not for any case of being big-headed or otherwise. Truly just a case of, I have been given a task, it is time to complete this task. Oh, I have been given a task, it is time to complete this task. So on and so forth, until everyone's been given an autograph and they get to walk 5 more feet down the street.
And Ryzen, what are you doing? How are you dealing with this newfound fame?
Well, are we late for whatever we're supposed to be going to at this point, or do we still have time?
You still have a bit of time. You still have about a couple of hours. You actually arrived a few hours early.
Then Ryson will also be giving out autographs. And putting a little message about Merve in every single one of them.
Of course. So, Soma, it takes about an hour for the crowd to thin enough for these two, as well as the other people that are accompanying them, to actually get past and get further up the docks. And as they do, and as your eyes come upon Kyrene, this woman is middle aged, looks to be in about her 40s, has sort of long brunette hair. You notice her eyes meet yours for a moment, and make me a perception check. Secret.
Secrets. Alrighty, give me a one moment. Oh wait, I can do that with my... I'm sorry.
Apology not accepted.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah,
You're
what do
making
you
such a
do
terrible
now?
impression. Cry about it. Gonna go
You
and
know,
cry about it.
valid.
There we go. Secret. Come on, man. Okay. And this is, there's no circumstantial modifiers or anything. Just
Nope.
regular perception roll, but
Yep.
secret.
What
Cool.
secrets?
Okay.
I got a question mark.
It is secret even to you.
Yes.
I just PM'd you?
Got it. Thank you.
So you can now actually approach binary or you can now approach Bastille and Ryzen.
So coming down, we're at the docks, you said?
Yes, yeah. They arrived in
so
this.
coming down the docks.
They arrived in this small airship.
Mm-hmm. So I guess maybe probably coming up the docks if it's an airship. Towards you, you see a very short, human-seeming woman with kind of like reddish gold hair. It's worn in this like long braid that's kind of coiled behind her head. She's got very like narrow face and pointy chin, and she's wearing all of these sort of layered skirts and this embroidered jacket with these big puff sleeves that kind of cuff at the wrist, and in this like satchel on her side, like as she kind of steps out of the way of the crowd that's dispersing, she kind of opens the satchel, and a small little fox, like gray and red fox, kind of jumps out and joins her as she walks down the boardwalk. And you see her, she's holding a newspaper in her hand. You know, it's a day or so old, but you all definitely recognize the photo that's on the front page of this newspaper that has all of you on it. And that she is clearly like using it to find you.
Yeah.
And just kind of comes up and stops and says, hello, I have been waiting for all of you. It is very good to meet all of you, finally.
It is good to
Oh.
meet you too.
Greetings.
What seems to be is why were you waiting for us?
Well, I was wondering if, well,
Crystal says, I can help with that. She contacted me some time ago about joining you guys, and I told her to meet us here. I just didn't think I would be here too.
you are Crystal. It is very good to meet you as well. Thank you for replying to my letter.
No worries. I just didn't think I was going to be here. I have very important stuff to deal with back in Colorado. What the hell is this king thinking?
He must be thinking that this is a really important thing to do here.
And finding my boyfriend is not important?
Apparently not as important as whatever this is.
I'm sorry. I've just been really stressed out lately. You can imagine why.
It's okay. I completely understand.
And Kyrene says,
Yeah.
Kyrene says, yeah, I completely understand as well. More than you know.
I do not.
Sorry, Ryzen, you were saying?
When he says that, I'll say, I'll explain to you later. And I'll turn to Soma, I think you said the name was. Any help
Yes.
is always welcome help. And what is your name?
Oh, I'm Soma. It is. You don't have to introduce yourselves. I already know your names, unless
I
there is
figured.
something you, unless there are ways you wish to be referred to that were not reported in the papers.
I mean, you guys discovered a brand new Mystimon, so that
Yeah.
carries a bit of fame.
Are you prepared to die?
What?
Was that in character?
You were
Yes.
Okay.
you were very eloquent in your interviews. I thought you sounded very brave.
This is not an answer to what I asked.
Oh, I mean, is anybody really prepared to die at any given point? It usually comes as a surprise in my experience.
I was approximately 23% away from it.
That's very impressive, being able to calculate odds like that.
Thank you.
And Soma just grins up at you. I imagine you're much taller.
Yes. Bastille is, I believe I put him around 6 or 7 something.
Yeah,
And Ryson is 7'6".
Selma's 5'1".
Yeah, you're both half again as tall as she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
But
Selma, Kyrene is about the same height as you, and Crystal's maybe a few inches taller.
yeah, Bastille is 7 foot exactly.
And Kyrene reaches out her hand to you, Selma, and says, greetings. Though I feel that we may have met before, though I can't place where.
Oh, I don't think we've met before, but it is a pleasure to meet you. I feel like I have heard something about you as well. Have heard much about you as well.
Bastille,
Probably
can
get
you,
that a lot, though.
for a chance, calculate the odds that they have met each other before?
Oh, that would be great.
Hey, Cyber's
Sure.
joined the Foundry.
Sure. Calculating now. And I'd like to use let me see. I'd like to use automatic writing
Okay.
to receive knowledge beyond my own experience on if they've met before.
Aloha, Cyber.
So that I would roll a cult
Hello.
for that.
Okay, go ahead.
And then do you want the secret or
Go ahead, yeah, make it secret. Blind.
what do I know? What does my ghost hand know, GM?
The odds that they know each other is somewhere in the region of about 10 to 20%.
Do I know how they might know each other?
Not at all.
Okay.
Aloha, Cyber.
There's the crux. Welcome.
I said hi.
Hi.
There's approximately a 15% chance that you both know each other.
Soma claps her hands in delight.
So, Cyber, how about you introduce yourself and Frederick?
Oh, that sounds like a bad idea.
Sounds like a great idea.
Frederick, this big eye hana, comes out of the airship shortly after this whole.
I
Shortly
forget.
after
Am I
Bastille
8 foot
calculates.
something?
Shortly after Bastille calculates how Soma and Kyrie might know each other. Yeah, how tall is Frederick? 9'4".
9'4".
Yeah, Frederick
Okay,
is
almost
huge.
twice as tall.
Yeah, Frederick is this big Aihana, and he is huge.
I should ask because I haven't had the chance to ask yet. Do I still get to keep my background despite the amnesia?
I didn't know you took the amnesia.
I didn't take the amnesia thing, but the last time I played, stuff happened and I didn't remember who I was and like
Oh, that.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you have your background and everything. You have all that. No
Okay, so I
mechanical
don't have to
changes.
mess with any of that.
No mechanical changes.
Okay.
And as Frederick comes out of the airship, Crystal says, he kind of forgot who he is.
I still know how to punch things, though.
I do
Most
not
people
know
do.
who he is either.
He is Frederick.
But yeah.
You are Frederick.
I prefer Rick.
Rick, it is.
Well, at least he remembers that. So, how does Soma react to this big Ayana? how does
In chainmail.
Soma's eyes like widen a fraction, but she does not lose her like politeness or delight in meeting all of these new people, and just kind of like looks up at Rick as he disembarks the airship, and as he comes closer, says, and the the third member of your group. I introduced myself to your compatriots earlier. I am Soma, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, he wasn't in the papers.
I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know how, but I didn't even notice he was here with us. So this is my first time meeting him too.
How'd you miss me?
Like I said, I don't know.
I did not see you, but I merely stood in the storage area until we arrived.
Yeah, you were probably hooked up to the chargers that are equipped in the airship.
The captain said I kept standing in the way, and to go somewhere I could not be seen.
Yeah, that sounds like Rune.
Oh, buddy.
It's okay. He doesn't take anything personally.
That's always good.
Especially of an automaton, right?
Yes. So to catch me up, who else is here? Can I get descriptions of you guys?
Yeah. How about everyone introduce yourselves to Cyber?
Okay, I guess I'll start. I'm playing Rysen. He is about 7'6". I forgot the word. Dragla, a teal Dragla cleric of Merve.
Okay.
And Bastille?
Not a bad choice.
I am Bastille, a living metal automaton summoner that looks extremely damaged but still seems to operate fine. They're standing at exactly 7 foot. And yeah, that's Bastille.
And Soma.
Boy, do I hope we don't have to sneak into some small corridor somewhere.
Well, luckily, if you do, Soma is a 5'1" human-looking woman with reddish hair and a big embroidered coat and a little fox with her.
A little
Love how you
Ikane.
keep saying human looking.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
I am not worried about it.
So, now that everyone is introduced, Kyrene says, the king is probably expecting us right about now. I have no idea why he called me. And you also notice that with her are about a teenage, about 19, 20-year-old boy and a girl who's about the same age. And she says, "Oh, by the way, this is my son, Hyokun, and his girlfriend, Grissian."
Greetings.
And Frederick, this will be the first time that you've ever met these two kids. You've never met them
Especially
before.
considering my memory is only how
Yeah, you
recently?
had never even met them before that. So, and
Well, pardon me if I've met you before, but it's nice to meet you.
they say, Grissian says, "Yeah, I've never met you before." Hyokun, have you?
I have also never met you before.
And Selba, how do you respond to this introduction to these kids?
Oh, with perfect courtesy and delight. It's a pleasure to meet you both. Shake hands.
All right. Kyrene's motions, shall we? And Crystal says, yeah. say what the king wants and waste more time.
You don't sound excited for this.
Well, you know.
Should we be excited? I do not know how to be excited.
So,
You'll figure it out.
You eventually make your way up to the palace. You're led in by the guards, as they immediately recognize at least Bastille and Ryzen. And clears everyone else. And they also mention something about a man in a top hat and a big bird also being in the throne room already.
When the big bird is mentioned, Soma picks up the fox, who seems to give off a vibe of being a little put out by having this done to him.
Does the fox not like birds?
It is a precaution, and I kind of give a little glare down.
If I had to guess, the fox likes birds, but not in a way that's good for the bird. As a guess.
The fox gives a very human-sounding sigh at this.
So,
No, I'm no expert, but I don't think foxes sound like that normally.
yeah, Ikones don't sound like that.
Don't
I have
worry
not heard
about
another
This one
fox
does, because he's got speech.
He can talk.
He can talk.
An
And
Ikone that can talk.
this is a familiars, baby. I just kind of look down at him and I say, "Behave, okay?" And I put him back down on the ground. There will all be time later for us to get to know each other better, yes?
Yes. And you are soon all led into the throne room. And you see, first off, you see this man with I imagine him having a mustache, and he's got this big black top hat, and he's wearing this costume that kind of looks like a magician's costume. And with him is a Yagla, a black crow-looking Yagla, who as he's talking to the other man, he keeps saying squawk, squawk.
And Rysen is immediately on edge when he sees the Yeglaw.
Important question. Is the bird saying squawk, or is the bird making crow sounds?
The bird is constantly saying squawk.
Incredible.
It's the word
I
squawk.
love this bird. It's the word squawk. I love this bird.
Yep. And the Yagla sees the Ikone and says, "Ooh, magic! Squawk!"
And the fox looks up at Soma and goes, it's a fair cop.
So the man with the mustache and magician uniform introduces himself. I am Gareth, and this is my compatriot Squawk. Though I believe you probably could have figured that out. Squawk.
Greetings.
I don't know if I'm ready to run 2 characters, so you can have Gareth.
I'll NPC him.
And Ryson is just continuing to give Squawk the stink eye,
And
not saying anything.
okay, Ryson, make a perception check.
Should it be secret?
Yes. Okay. From what you can tell, uh, as you're glaring the Agla in the eyes, you see a kind of dumb look. He doesn't seem to be all there.
I'm still glaring at him, but not as intently.
Yeah, he doesn't really glare back. He just looks at you, looks at Bastille, and says, "Squawk, magic."
I lean over to Ryzen and kind of say quietly, "Do you know this bird?"
Never trust. Are they called? Would the plural be like Yegla or Yeglani or what is it?
Yigla.
Never trust a Yegla. I'll say it quietly back to them.
Okay.
Is this the king?
No. We're waiting for the king as well.
Are you sure you're not secretly the king?
Be the king?
I don't know, I've never met the guy before. As far as I can remember.
I'm complimented. I feel complimented.
Is the king then beyond that threshold?
Oh, yes, the king should be, showing
Bastille
up
starts
here.
walking.
But still is just
I'm
walking
gonna
towards
attempt
the...
to stop him.
They are under the impression they have been asked to meet the king, so they are taking the direct line to meet the king.
And Bastille is stopped by the guards at the door.
Bastille,
Please
you
wait
don't
here.
generally just walk up to the king.
Are we supposed to shout?
Usually
will be
when
with
there's
you
a king involved, he just shows up whenever he wants to.
The king will be with
And
you
we just have to
shortly.
So we will not be considered late for not arriving yet.
I don't know, we'll find out, won't we?
I have been late a lot recently. People get mad.
Yes, you have. Ryzen
attempting
says,
to not
because
silently
Ryzen has
suck.
been the one that's had to explain why he's late every time.
Indeed. Wow. Everyone can have a story point. Awesome role playing. Story points replace hero points in this campaign, and they can do so much more. Those, given how much you've been reading the World Anvil lately, Soma, I'm sure you've probably seen that.
I actually have probably missed that because I was mostly reading the mythology stuff.
Gotcha. So you're waiting here for about half an hour before this tall man with this brunette with this graying hair and brunette slash grain beard and mustache finally walks through the doors and steps over to his throne. And he turns around to you and
Guys.
says, "Greetings,
Guys.
everyone."
That's probably the king.
I would never have guessed.
Yeah, he's wearing a crown and everything. And he says, "Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
I am so glad to finally meet you, Bastille, is it? And Ryson, is it? You
Yes.
two are celebrities. Discovering that Mystimon, wow, that must have been terrifying, discovering a Mystimon like that."
Would you like an autograph?
Maybe later. My name is King Atlan. And I have called you all here because the Western Reaches has remained mostly abandoned for quite long enough. Since the Battle of Conisset a few years ago, and the undead kings were finally defeated, the Western Reaches has remained abandoned. It is time to change that. I have called you all here, especially you two, with your pedigree, to travel to the Western Reaches and scout the area and see if it is safe, and make sure that it is safe, so that the area may eventually be resettled, so that we can rebuild the Western Reaches. I am sending you first to the Hilltop Valley. This is an area in the northwestern peninsula of Atlantea. And it's been abandoned the longest. Ever since it was attacked by not the undead kings. And Lady Kamuya, I hear you know the one who was responsible for attacking the Hilltop Valley. And she says, "Yes, and my son was there. He's standing right here. He's quite well enough. Thank you for asking."
If
So
it is
it-
not safe, what is the plan?
Make it safe.
How?
Obviously.
What do we need to make it safe from?
I hope there is not a time limit if we are required to clear a continent.
Thankfully, thankfully,
One
right
at a
now,
time.
you are only required to clear the Hilltop Valley. Just one region. And However long it takes, I've mapped out about 40 days for this scouting mission. But however long it takes for you to clear that area, and then report back to me.
And what if we don't want to do it?
And why are you here?
What level of consideration of dangerous is actually dangerous? For something that is dangerous to us would be extremely dangerous to others, but something that is not dangerous to us might still be dangerous to others.
Did anyone understand that?
He
Essentially,
asked, how dangerous is it?
Essentially,
that.
a wolf could be handled by the town guard for an area. Would you still like all wolves eradicated if found? Or would you like a squirrel could be dangerous to a smaller person or otherwise? Would you like all squirrels eliminated? So on, so forth.
First of all, I'm not asking you to go eliminate all the ball throws or abyssins. Or even Penzas, for that matter. I have no idea what is waiting for you out there. That is precisely why I'm sending you out there.
So we are merely to gather the information, not to make it safe.
Yes.
If I may, and Soma kind of raises her hand in the background. What has prevented the Western Reaches from being resettled? As in specifically.
I believe they do not know. That is our purpose.
We don't know.
But if
I have
but
not
if you're
had
king,
the
have you
I have not had
sense-
the opportunity to do this, to send anyone out there to scout the region until this time.
So this is as much a fact-finding mission
Yes.
as it is a clearing sort of thing.
Yes.
So it is not a case where others have been sent and not returned.
As you can imagine, with having to rebuild the Kingdom of Konaset since the Battle of Konaset a few years ago, I've not had the opportunity to mount such an expedition since then.
What is how does what is his name? Hyokun?
Hyokun? Yeah.
Kyrene's son. Hyokun? What does he look like? Like what is his expression during this conversation?
His expression is like make me a perception check. Make me a perception check. That is a very
Secret?
good question.
Or
Yes.
Alrighty.
Right. So, out of character from the whole exposition, you know that Hyokun actually came from the Hilltop Valley. In character, you don't quite
and
know
there
that.
was some kind of danger involved. Well,
Yeah.
no. In character, because Kyrene said it earlier. Kyrene said, "My son was there. He's fine." So implying that there
Yeah.
was some kind of danger that he was exposed to that this king should have known about. So that's kind of like looking over.
Yeah. Hyokun's expression is he looks like he's worried, but also it kind of seems like he's grieving as well. Like he lost someone there. . 'Cause, 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 '
Great. I file that information away. Turn my attention back to the current proceedings.
Okay. So, the king says, if we are in agreement, tonight we shall feast. And you can head out in the morrow.
I do not believe rewards have been discussed.
Oh, you will be
The
paid
reward,
handsomely.
the reward is getting to clear a wilderness. I
I
look
do not
forward
know.
to it.
I do not know how an amount of currency would have an attraction level.
It's a figure of speech.
How does speech have a figure?
I'll tell you later. We can talk about this later. And right now, Ryson's just planning. He's gonna just eventually just make a book where it's just different figures of speech and what they mean.
Yeah.
And how they're shaped.
Crystal says, remind me again, Your Highness, why am I here? Why did I have to drag my adoptive daughters here? And the king says, "Oh, your adoptive daughters, Koi and Ira, if I recall, they're here." She says, "Yeah, they're just waiting at the airship." Well, please bring them in. By all means. And further to the question, Miss Dawn, I've called you here because we need to discuss matters with the Wayfinder Society. And I do believe your expertise will be required. And Crystal gives a heavy sigh. She says, I'll go get those two girls. And as she's going towards the door, she turns back and says, "Oh, by the way, Your Highness, you don't have any problem with same-sex relationships, right?" And the king says, "Why would I?"
Why is that even being brought up?
Crystal says, "Have you met the Pharaoh in Almana?"
No.
When you do, you'll understand.
Okay. Is there anything we should be doing in the meantime while we are waiting before we head out tomorrow?
For tonight, you're just going to prepare and get ready for a feast with the king.
I do not eat.
That is fine. The others certainly eat.
Do you appreciate things like fancy oils or polishes?
I have not tried.
Perhaps something can be arranged.
Perhaps so. Oh, and I believe you have already met Gareth and Squawk. They will be accompanying you.
Wonderful.
I imagine
They
he's
don't
saying this is.
strike me as someone who would contribute very well to clearing back the wilderness and camping.
Perhaps the beard will provide aerial surveillance.
Oh. If I ever come back to Gareth, he definitely needs how to learn how to fly. Air quotes fly.
Yes, indeed. You
That
know,
would be very circus of him.
yeah, you should definitely get him into a foundry eventually at some point. Should be easy enough if you ever find his character sheet. Meanwhile, Crystal has gone out to retrieve her two adoptive daughters.
That still hands the king an autograph. He said later.
Does he hand one to Soma?
Soma hasn't mentioned.
I think
that's-
absolutely already honestly already on the way up here I made both of them sign the newspaper clipping
Okay, if Basta was
as
asked,
we were
then
walking
yes.
up towards the palace.
But it was very specifically referring to Bastille as a celebrity. Bastille has associated that to, oh, you want an autograph, which is why they asked.
This is what my player characters do when they have a bit of fame.
It's called being efficient.
I do have to double check. Did Ryzen sign the newspaper
Yes.
clipping
Yes, he would have
when
signed.
asked?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent.
And like I said earlier, it would have something like "May Mary Fair be with you" or something along those lines on it.
Yeah. And she'll probably ask Esther whenever she meets Esther.
Yes, absolutely. Are we heading out of this throne room, or are we
yeah, you're being led.
muddling around in here?
You're
as we
being led
wait?
to
Okay.
two rooms. You were being given some rooms, and then you were just asked to get ready for a big fancy feast.
So as we're leaving, I do want to walk alongside Hyokun and ask him, your if I may, your mother said that you had been in the Hilltop Valley. Can you tell us what happened there?
It's something.
I don't mean to pry, and if I am, I apologize.
It's something I try not to think about these days. You know, my mother left me to live there when I was but a baby. I didn't even know her at all until after that. And it's not the circumstances I imagined meeting my mother. She left me to live with a very sweet old man. And he died giving me a way out. He died saving my life. He died to save me.
Saving your life from what?
The hordes of undead and demons. Evilon's hordes. I didn't even know that my mother had a history with Evilon until that day. It almost feels like Evilon attacked there and killed all those people just to get to me. And it's like, how many of my mother's enemies are going to come back to haunt us?
Is this within earshot of all of us?
I'd imagine.
Not me.
I'd imagine Cyber. I'd imagine Soma took him aside, probably
Okay.
in private. Is that correct, Soma?
I don't think I don't think I like intentionally did that. I didn't want to do this like in front of the king and like make it a whole big thing.
Oh.
But I don't think I would have like made it a super private conversation. This is probably more like as we're walking down the hall, kind of like dropping back to have this conversation. So my guess is that if anything, if he's talking about his mother like this, he's probably slowed down so that Kyrene can't hear it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily be trying to hide this conversation from the three of you or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So there seems to
So
be
I
a
guess-
lot of guilt mixed in with grief.
So I guess the next question would be if Hyokune would want to try and step away.
How so? You know, you mean like
Like, would they try and hide the conversation from everyone else, or have it within earshot of all of us?
he probably would do as Soma said, probably would kind of pull it back so it's out of earshot of his mother, but also keeping in mind that his mother is a telepath.
Well, and didn't she step
This
away
is
to go
fair.
back to the ship? So
Crystal stepped away to go back to the
okay.
airship. Kyrene is here. Kyrene's more up with you and Frederick and Ryzen.
Okay.
And so is
I would like
Grisian,
to
actually.
state I'm leading whatever march we are on, just because I normally take points, so that's where I'm used to being.
And that's one thing he would probably remember.
Still has no idea where they're actually going, so
Subconsciously, that'd be what he'd do.
Yeah.
What he would do.
Yeah. And you're being led down the halls by the palace guards.
Oh, okay.
And
Someone's leading us. That's better.
yeah.
Is there?
I take a wrong
is there
turn like
anything that
twice
we
and then have to
can-
catch up with the guy who's actually showing us where we're going.
You were saying, Soma?
You keep outpacing him and then having to drop back and be like, "Oh, right, this person is actually showing us where we're supposed to be going."
Bastille's at a very standard pace. Like, doesn't fluctuate in speed at all. So if they ever outpace the guy, they just stop moving and then start again.
Oh, I see NPC style.
Correct.
All right. So
And, like, literally will
anything-
stop, like, halfway stepping, just balance like that, and then start again.
So,
oh dear.
Selma, you were I want to get back to
Yes.
what you were saying.
Is there anything while we're there that you would want us to look for you?
I'll probably look myself because my mother is dragging me with you guys.
We're all going. I see.
Yeah.
Well,
I get the
It is-
feeling she doesn't
it
know
will
why
be good
she's
to have
here.
someone who knows the area.
Yeah.
Mm.
I know the area, but I haven't seen it in years, and it's probably in ruins now and overgrown with vegetation and everything. But I get the feeling my mother doesn't know why she's here.
For those of us who aren't history buffs, how many years ago was this?
8 years ago.
Okay.
It has been 8 years. This whole thing happened in 2739. The year is currently 2742. 2743. So 9 years. 9 years.
Okay.
For any parts of this conversation
Wait,
that is
what?
said,
Can you?
Sorry?
Okay.
what was
Sorry?
your question, Selma?
Oh no, sorry. I was doing the math and I got some numbers confused. So ignore me. I wrote the
Yeah.
right ones down. I think. No,
Yeah.
sorry, Bastille. You were saying?
For any parts of this conversation that Bastille does here, does any of that sound familiar to them?
First make me a perception check.
Fair enough. Let's see here. $22.
So you hear bits and pieces of it, but not enough to really piece together what the conversation's about.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if any key words, like the evil eye or otherwise, would remind Bastille of anything or otherwise.
You heard the word daemons, and you immediately took that to mean, oh, the Mystimon daemon.
Okay.
Daemons are... The best way to describe them is that they're like gas, but they're a Mystimon. They have really, really long nails, and they're really sharp and really sharp teeth and everything. Daemons are nasty.
Okay.
You heard that. You also heard something about someone sacrificing themselves for Hyokun. Bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
And you were finally all led to your rooms. You're all given each your own separate room.
I wasn't led. I found it myself.
Well, I guess we know which room is
Yes,
theirs.
you're very self-sufficient, and we're all incredibly impressed.
He doesn't even remember that he was part of the Magi Guard.
He'll piece it together soon, probably. He still has the badge in his inventory.
And a bar of soap, apparently.
We're getting
Gotta stay
prepped
clean.
up and ready for...
For a feast, yeah.
Yeah, a feast with the king.
Yep.
I'm not going in there smelling like last week.
Just use prestidigitation.
Fine, fair enough. So,
That would require being capable of casting magic.
Soma, how about I want to go down the list here, and Soma, how are you getting ready for this feast?
So we have these are rooms in the sense that they are bedrooms where
Yes,
we will
bedrooms.
be also like
Bedrooms,
housed for the night.
bedrooms
Okay.
with your own bathroom and everything.
Cool. I mean, I think I'm also freshening up. I'm rebraiding my hair. I'm chasing the fox around the room a bunch of times until I catch him so I can brush him. And
That Ikune doesn't like to be brushed, does he?
I think mostly he's just giving me shit about it. And
Fair enough.
everything else is, and I am, I probably leave behind just like my pack and my, obvious weapons. I have
Obviously.
a question.
Sure.
What is the general in terms of like magic use? What is the in both in Atlantea more generally, but in specifically like this situation, like is that always going to be read as like a hostile act, or is it something that's like fairly common?
Magic has always been fairly common in pretty much anywhere in the world, other than Gothica. But
Okay.
Gothica is an entirely other matter.
Okay, cool. Cool, good to know. Alrighty, yeah, so just,
Yeah.
freshening up, leaving behind my enormous backpack.
Yep. But still, how are you getting ready for this feast?
Does anyone ever enter the room to ask Bastille to do anything for them getting ready for the feast?
Is he
No.
just gonna stand there doing nothing?
So that's what I assumed. For a while, he just stands there. And yes, when he realizes that no one is coming to the door, for a moment, he's going to go to a desk. And if you'll allow, automatic writing's only once per day, but the other thing was kind of a joke as it is.
Yeah.
So what I would like to actually use automatic writing for today is Basile focusing inward is going to see if there is anything related to what they remember regarding ever meeting this king. Because pretty important figure, potentially has relations to figuring out more about themselves.
Okay. Remind me of your backstory. Did you take part in the Battle of Conoset?
So I will message you.
It can absolutely wait, but there is one more thing that someone would like to do when everybody else has gone.
Okay. But still, you know something about undead kind of triggered something for you, but you're not sure exactly what. It's all in bits and jumbles and pieces.
Yeah, this is less focusing on the undead and more focusing on meeting with the king and to see if there's any memory of ever meeting the king before.
Not really.
Okay.
No kind of familiarity there. It's just the word undead kind of triggered something.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, so yeah, as they pick up the paper when they finish their ghostwriting, it's just got like undead written a bunch of times in like a whole bunch of different types of like fonts. Like it's nowhere near Bastille's regular way of writing. And they stare at it, just drop the paper into whatever trash there is, and then just stand there.
okay. Okay. We'll swing back to Soma. You said there was one more thing you wanted to
okay.
do.
Yes, I would like to cast Read Omens.
Read
You peek
omens.
into the future. Choose a particular goal or activity you plan to engage in within 1 week, or an event you expect might happen within 1 week. You learn a cryptic clue or piece of advice that could help with the chosen event, often in the form of a rhyme or omen. And so I just kind of doesn't say specifically what. Give me one moment. To get some more details, if I can. Details. Okay, it just says it contains a material component here. It doesn't say what that material component is, so we can retcon this if it's not this, but I think I just have some like feathers and shells that I just kind of toss in front of me. And basically, I want to be asking, what are we going to find in Hilltop Valley?
So, as you do this, and I really love that you did this. I really love this. As you do this, your Ikone kind of starts chirping and yipping as something is starting to float around your shoulders and kind of becomes invisible for a second and then goes back invisible. You don't notice it, but your Ikone certainly did, and is yipping at it. And you get this. These three words are and I'm going to PM this. These three words are all that you are getting. Are 4 words. It's actually 5 words.
And we get 6.
Do I hear 7 words?
Okay, I just
8
PM'd
words,
you.
go once.
I just PM'd you. That sentence is all that you're getting.
A whole sentence?
2 sentences, going twice.
A whole sentence. It had a subject and a verb and everything.
Can we get an extra noun?
I kind of scoop up the fox and kind of cuddle him for a moment and then clean up and go find the rest of the group.
Yeah, he's still yipping at something that's behind you. But when you
Is there anything behind me?
When
Like,
you
I turn
turn
around?
you don't see anything.
All right, I know, buddy. I know.
Okay, Frederick.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
What is Frederick doing to get ready for this feast?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice you. I was busy polishing my armor.
So he's just polishing his armor.
Yeah. Everything my character has is either passive or happens in combat. So
Alrighty.
I don't think much of me is relevant to a banquet.
Okay.
Other than I'll remind you I've got this.
Sure. uh, and Rhinus. Or Ryson.
Ryson.
Ryson. Sorry about that. Ryson. What are you
So
doing?
what Ryson's gonna do is he's gonna like freshen up, clean himself up. Once he has done that, he is I didn't mention this to the new party members, but he does have like a bronze extendable tail because he lost his tail at some point. So he's going to remove that, or he's when he goes to clean up, he's going to change into his high fashion fine clothes that he has in his bag of holding.
Alrighty.
And then he's going to just spend the rest of the time using prestidigitation to kind of polish his extendable tail. And he's going to do that until someone comes to get him.
Alrighty. Okay, I think that's everyone. And, so you were finally called upon by the guards about a couple of hours later. And you all make your way out to the banquet hall. And here you find oh dear. What was that about?
Just checking. I thought you said will save. And never mind.
You are brought to the banquet hall, and you find you see the women there already. You also see Pyoku, and you see Grissian, you see Crystal and Kyrene. They're all dressed up, looking pretty. And you also see Koi and Ira. Ryson and Bastille, you've already met Koi and Ira, so has Frederick again. you know that Frederick, you know that Ira was trying very hard to help you. She brought in Koi to try to help you, and she then brought you back to Almana to get Kyrene to help you. Kyrene couldn't help you even with her psychic power. She couldn't help you retrieve your memories. So you know Koi and Ira. And one moment, please.
To Mississippi. Mississippi.
So after when you as you meet up with Koi, she all gives you a flower. She hands you all a flower, and this flower is an acacia. And Iris says, that I think means friendship.
Sorry, I left for a moment. Who's giving that to us?
Koi is handing you an acacia flower. And Iris says, I think that means friendship. What do you do with this flower?
I will say thank you, and I will put it excuse me, somewhere on my clothing.
All right. Soma, what do you do with this flower?
I think I like basically like give her like a quick hug, and then I like weave it into the end of my braid.
Nice. And Bastille, what do you do with this flower? Dare I ask?
I mean, like like probably just put it in like a hole or something wherever it'll fit. Taking note of what the other two are doing for it, having not sure what to do with it at first. That's like, oh, it goes on your person. Puts it just like in the middle of their chest in an available hole that can hold it.
Okay. And Frederick, what do you do?
After expressing or after suppressing this fleeting, strange feeling of anger that he has no idea where it's coming from, he says, "Thanks," and then just kind of looks around and doesn't know what to do with it.
All right, and as the king comes in, that is where we're going to take a short break. We're going to take a break, everyone, so that we can get up, refill our drinks, and use the bathroom. You know, the whole shebang.
Okay. That's very good.
About
Awkward because I just did that a minute ago. I just muted and got a drink.
about 10 minutes. That sound good?
Alrighty, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
No, it sounds terrible.
We'll be back soon,
Well,
everyone.
too bad. You're
Don't mind me.
And I'll go AFK. I'll be back soon. Okay, I'm back. Thank you. Okay, we've got Bastilla here, we've got Soma here. And we've got Ryzen here. I realize this is a lot of exposition lately, right now. Yeah. Combat happens when it makes sense in the plot. It made sense in the plot that time. I'm. Yeah, yeah. We have that quite often here. But I was just saying, I realize that this session has so far been a lot of exposition, a lot of setting up of the story. Yeah, he had to drop out because his work started scheduling right on top of our sessions. It did it last time and it's done so again this time. So he thinks that's just the way it is now. He can't get that fixed. So he had to drop out. So I just dropped him to a reader. Yeah. Yeah. The that compendium is there because I don't like deleting characters. And welcome back, Cyber. Okay, it's all good. Oh, so you want to right-click your name in the players list, and then go to user configuration, and then you want to select Bastille, and then save configuration. Yeah, on the players list, you go to your name binary, and right click, go to user configuration, and set Bastille. Select character, select character, and set it. And then you can also set your pronouns there, the character's pronouns and everything. That should now give you access to the module. You'll let me go ahead and put Ira as my character here. Maybe you need a refresh. It showed up. It brought up Ira's up here in the top left-hand corner, right under the scenes bar. Yeah, that's the module. Well, to change your token. I thought that was for token action HUD. Okay, so to do that, you want to click the you want to go to your avatar picture on your character sheet. Click the little picture button on the in the corner, or not. Just click it. Okay, I think I know what happened. It's because you don't have permission to upload. So that's something I can deal with later. Okay. We can deal with it later. I can like share screen on Discord here later and show you the options. So, if that will work for you. Okay. And we are back. A few minutes late. So, as you all sit down with the king and sit down to feast, what are you all doing?
I'm eating food.
You see this big, nice ham. You see lots of fruits and vegetables from all over the world, really.
Truly just existing.
I reached to go
here?
take
Is
the
it
whole
just
entire ham all at once, and then think better of myself, and only take half of it.
Sorry, Soma?
Who all is here? Is it like just our party and the king, or are
It's your
there,
party and the
other
king,
members
and
of his household and whatnot?
it's your party and the king and Kwoi and Ira and Crystal and Kyrene and Hyokun and Grisian. And Crystal is looking especially annoyed. You already know why she's annoyed.
Gotcha.
I assume
Yes.
Gareth and Squawk are also present.
Yeah, Gareth and Squawk are also present. And I assume that your Ikone is here, Soma?
Yes.
Where is Ikone? Where is your Ikone? You can give him a name, too.
I think that he absolutely has a name, but nobody knows it yet. I think he definitely, like, when I came in, I think I probably like looked at the table and then went to see if there was someone I could find to like get him a place at the table, like a tall stool or something.
Yeah, the
so he could sit next to
the
me.
king motions for a guard to bring a stool for your Ikone.
to bring a high chair.
Yeah. And
it's normally for Cowans to use.
Of course, yes. And you notice tiny.
It doesn't have the indignity of, like, roping you in and making it so you can't squirm your way out of the chair, but it's just a tall stool.
Yeah.
But it is very, very tall, yeah.
Yeah, you also see a tiny green dragon creature with fairy wings sitting perched on Kwoi's shoulder, and over on Ira's shoulder you see a tiny blue dragon with kind of like ice wings. And you can make me Arcana checks if you want to recall knowledge about this. Secret, please. Secret.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Arcana.
Is this for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
What
Private
were we
GM
rolling?
roll or blind GM roll?
Blind.
Okay. Thank you.
What was it we were rolling?
Arcana. Blind. To make it a blind roll, you just click. You see where it says public roll down here. Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. I just was flipping through there and debating whether I should press the button to make it so private that not even the GM could see it.
So, so Soma, you know what these creatures are like right away. You know that the tiny green dragon with fairy wings on Kwoi's shoulder is a Fari, and the blue dragon with ice wings on Ira's shoulder is an Irus. I will type those in chat here. Fari and Irus. Do you say anything about what those creatures are?
Do I know anything about them besides what they are?
You know that they are often described by Mystimon researchers as extremely rare Mystimon. They're incredibly rare and almost mythical in nature. Uh, and very, very rarely seen in nature. Very rarely seen. You also know they tend to evo
I
into big dragons that are also very, very mythical in nature.
Nope, seems normal to me.
I think I just kind of. These are
I'm
totally
still in the-
normal lizards.
Still in the just roll with it phase.
It's
of
just a
not
baby
remembering things.
They're just baby dragons.
I think. Yeah, I think I just look at them, and if either Ira or Kwai like see me looking, I just kind of wink at them and then turn back to making sure that my fox doesn't eat too much ham. It's too salty for him.
Of course. Of course. And what is Bastille doing?
I'm helping.
Truly. Same verse as the first, just sitting there. Someone had to ask him to sit down for him to even get that far.
Of course. And what is Ryzen doing?
Hey, have you guys
He's
tried this ham?
He's just eating and still kind of warily eyeing Squawk, but not as often.
Yeah, Squawk is constantly... as he's eating, he's constantly saying, Squawk! Squawk! As he's eating...
Must you keep doing that?
Squawk?
Definitely make a note to ask. Is that Ryzen talking?
Yes.
To ask Ryzen about this later. About this odd bird antipathy.
Cyber rolled some dice that I can't even see. I see he found something
Don't
he
worry about
likes.
it.
A self roll.
Did the king provide fancy oils and metal polishes for Bastille?
Oh yes, of course. Of course he did. He was also expecting Brisinger here. He was he had some oils prepared for him too. Unfortunately, Brisinger is back at the ranch. Still on the charger.
Are we gonna do a meanwhile back at the ranch?
Well,
It just
since you
pans
asked.
to automatons just standing there doing nothing.
No, since you asked, meanwhile back at the ranch, the camera comes in as Brisinger is out on the ranch feeding the Bitors and also feeding the Nakos. He has these thousands of Nakos swarming around him.
Brisinger actually committed actions rather than just reactions, unlike Bastille.
Yeah.
And now back to the camera comes back in on the on the feast.
Hey, Bastille, have you tried the ham?
He does not eat.
I am not sure how I would.
Didn't you
should
try
try.
it like
I
a
don't know.
week ago or so?
I do not have a mouth.
We tried when we were on the airship before and it kind of just fell out.
Well, I shoved it into one of the vent holes that I have. I could shove the ham into a vent hole.
Then it's honestly probably for the best that it just fell back out.
Slowly reaching over to the ham because no one said to do otherwise.
Have you tried
don't-
some of
I
don't think
these
that'll work.
oils and polishes?
I do not know.
I don't
How-
know. I don't know if they are useful for you, but you know.
How would I use them?
Wouldn't
I don't
you
know.
be
I
the one
assumed
to know?
you did.
When did automaton know how to use them?
I do not.
Rick sighs and
I
says,
can-
"It's probably just like armor."
I do
Yes,
not
you.
wear armor.
What are you talking about? You're basically made out of armor.
This does not mean I've ever used oil on armor.
No,
This is
here,
a
you
fair
gotta
point.
do it like this. As Rick begins applying oil.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, at this point, I think everyone's maxed out on story points. We haven't even gotten to the valley yet, and
Do we
I've
keep
only
them
got
between
the
sessions, by
one.
the way?
huh?
Do we keep them between the sessions, or do they run out?
Use them or lose them.
Okay, that's
They-
what I thought.
We just gotta keep this up. Keep this level of hilarity going.
Yeah.
No, like if Bastil's shown how to use the oil, eventually they'll go about using it since they were asked to. And like, there's just like a layer that hasn't been cleaned off Bastille because they've never done this before. That slowly gets washed off where they sit because for some reason this was stuff that a automaton would use to clean themselves was provided in the middle of the dining hall rather than where proper.
Hey. You know, you've got to make everybody feel welcome when you're a host. And if that means it's
Absolutely.
applies lotion at the dinner table, well, life is a rich tapestry.
Indeed. Haven't even made it to the valley yet. The roleplay is just too interesting. And funny.
There is no valley. There is only dinner.
Not for Bastille, though. No dinner for him.
This is true.
I'm sure Cyber could tell you stories upon stories of how it's a running joke in this campaign how the party broke Seth.
And I assume everyone got really dressed up for this, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. You see the women, they're all really they're wearing really fancy dresses and everything.
Were we supposed to have clothes like those?
Do you ever wear clothes?
Yes.
Oh no. Not again. That's
I mean,
out of
I
have
character, by
Are
the way.
useful.
It is generally, yes, generally people do wear nicer clothes for this.
Very well. Out of the every need pack, they'll pull out a suit in their size and put it on just right there.
Hey, at least you're clean.
Yes, indeed.
Just soak in some of those oils into it.
The king is very amused by all this. And meanwhile, Crystal is embarrassed. Your Highness, I am very sorry.
When he does that, I will reach over to where he had put the flower and say, "May I?" Asking if I can see the flower for the moment that you had stuck into your vent or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's halfway crushed, but they let you.
And I will put it in the pocket of your suit. You know, like try to make it look nice.
Very, the king is like very amused by all this. Very amused.
Do we see? Are we able to easily tell that the other person is embarrassed?
Yeah, you could see that Crystal is like, like has her head in her hand, and is like shaking her head.
It's okay. You will get used to this.
Oh, I got used to it with the tribunal. This is nothing
doesn't
compared
seem
to
like you
what
have.
this is nothing compared to what the tribunal did. And as she says this, Koi hands her another type of flower, and you recognize it as a balm. Iris says,
I hope you mean BALM,
yeah, BALM.
not
Balm.
BOMB.
Balm, yes.
Okay.
BALM.
Just double checking.
Iris says, that I think means sympathy? She's adding that to Crystal. Ira says, I'm sorry, this is kind of how Koi communicates a lot. She really likes her flowers.
I think we figured that by now. But thank you for letting us know anyways.
I did not.
Koi looks at Bastille and says, "What are you?"
Says what?
It says Koi. She looks at Bastille and asks, "What are you?"
I do not know.
How do you not know what you are?
I do not know.
It's okay. Take your time. You'll figure it out eventually. And he just kind of pats Bastille on the back gently.
Aww, buddy.
What am we? I
Koi broke Bastille.
I think the word you are looking for is automaton. Or you could just simply say your name.
Bastille.
So we finally get through dinner, and you get back to your rooms, you go to sleep, and, or whatever it is you do. But it still is probably like sitting there charging, or just
Having
standing
an
there.
existential crisis.
Yeah. And the next morning, the guards come to retrieve you, and it is time to head out. And you all get into the airship, and Rune, the pilot, takes off. The airship is zooming across this huge continent of Atlantea. You finally arrive. The camera pans in as you arrive, as the airship comes down above the tree line. You see this massive field of trees as far as the eye can see. You can make out a river jetting through the this forest of trees, and just past this huge forest, you can make out the shapes of what look like buildings, but vegetation is really overgrown. It has really taken over these buildings. It's almost unrecognizable as a town. This town, everything is in ruins. You can see there are some buildings that are completely destroyed, while others are partially destroyed, and just others that are just collapsing in upon themselves. And the pilot, Rune, takes the airship down and lands just outside of this town. And Hyokun looks out the window and says, "Everyone, welcome to Hilltop City, or what's left of it."
All right, time to get to work.
What is everyone doing?
I guess I'm just going to be examining the scenery, seeing if anything in particular immediately sticks out.
Make me a perception check. This one can be public, I don't care.
22?
What does stick out is just how ruined this town is. It's you even see like vines kind of jutting out from what was the roadways and everything. But there's one building that seems to be mostly intact, and is closer to the center of the town. And it looks like it is a library. And Soma,
From where we are... Oh, sorry.
do you
Go on.
say anything to the party about the omen that you read?
First, from where we are, is there what is our distance from a forest?
The airship landed just outside of the town, and from where you are, it's about 50 feet or so to the edge of the forest.
To the tree line. Gotcha. All right. So as we seem to be kind of collecting together to leave the airship or kind of, start scouting around, I do want to kind of like come near the rest of the party and say, so last night before we left, I received a warning. It said to stay away from the woods.
Did it say anything else?
I received no other information than that.
Okay. Then if everybody else is okay with it, I suggest we listen to that and stay away from the woods.
Kyrene looks out at the
Before-
woods and says, and I just noticed my. Kyrene looks out at the woods and she says, I sense something dark. Something, I don't know. There's something that's pulling me towards the woods. I can't explain.
How long is the ship?
The airship is very small. It's just large enough to fit your... In fact, even fitting the extra people in the airship, like Crystal and Ira and Koi and Kyrene and Hyokun and Grizian, was a bit of a tight fit. So it's not that large. I would compare it to about the size of a small private plane.
Do they have is it something where we could use this ship to just scout the area from overhead?
You could. You could certainly do that.
Could some of them do that while another group scouted the ground crew, air crew?
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. And in fact, as you say that, Hyokun and Grizian... Hyokun gets up first, and Grizian kind of gets up and follows him as he heads out the door and out into the town. And Grizian says, We'll meet back up with you later.
Should we not have... Should we really have just two people going off on their own?
Kyrene says, I'll follow, but stay kind of far behind. I'll follow. I don't want to stop him.
Will you be able to kill something if it is needed?
Oh, don't worry about my son. He is.
This
he
was
is
not
quite.
the question.
He is quite able to defend himself, and Grizian as well.
Oh, what about you?
Some refer to me as the most powerful psychic in the world. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, I can manage.
Okay.
I thank you for your concern, though. Crystal says, she's been off on her own quite a lot lately. In fact, this is the most I've seen of her in, well, months. And there's torrential rains today. It is pouring down rain. And it's about 29.4 C, so it's kind of warm.
Where would you all like to go?
Well, if we are
I mean, I
ground team.
Okay, Rick
I
wants
think
to be
we
ground
are
team.
all ground team. I do
Actually,
not
ground
know about
team
you,
either
but
way.
I do not know how to fly. Well, I guess that's not fully correct. I can fly for a little bit.
Who wants to
that's
be...
called falling.
No, I will show you. And Basil will just use their Umbra Wings item to fly for 2 rounds and then come back down to the ground.
in the airship?
Oh, that is actually.
Sure.
Okay.
As
So,
the purple cloak that they were wearing around themselves turns into wings and then goes back to being normal after 2 rounds.
so who is going to be ground team? Who's going to be, like, down on the ground? And who's going to be up in the airship scouting overhead?
I suppose I can
Um,
be on the scouting team above
I
because
think out of
I
character
can.
we shouldn't split the party and just
Yeah,
let
out
the
of character
people that
we
can
shouldn't.
fly the ship do the scouting from above.
You want
Out of
to...
party. I have an excellent solution to this. We can pick some NPCs to stay on the airship and then go take care of the ground.
Okay, so you could...
Well, all of the NPCs decided that they were going to be on the ground crew. So.
Not all of them.
Well,
Not all of them.
Those
Crystal
were
is
just
still
the named
here.
NPCs. There is like an entire crew.
Crystal's still here, as well as Ira and Kwoi, and Rune. Rune is the pilot. And you also
then,
don't...
yeah.
You
Are
also...
any of the 4 of you...
You also notice Rune kind of
Are
taking a drink of what looks like a red liquid.
Seems alarming. Are any of you able to communicate with others at a distance? Like, if you see something, could you get in touch with those of us on the ground?
My lungs are strong.
Not you. We're talking about the people.
Oh, this was
in
to
the
the
airship.
NPCs. Sorry, this was to Crystal and
Okay.
Kawhi and Ira and Rune.
Sure, we have comstones. I'm assuming you have comstones.
Oh, right, we do.
And we could probably hear Squawk coming from a mile away, anyways.
Oh, right,
Squawk
Garrett's
looks
here
at you.
too.
Squawk it looks at you and says, "Squawk."
Sure.
Magic? Squawk.
Do you know any other words?
Yes, magic. Squawk.
And apparently, yes.
So are you saying yes because you don't know how to say no, or do you actually mean yes?
Yes. Squawk.
I don't
I
know
mean,
what
I could see that coming a mile away.
Out of character, yeah.
Well, I'm better with things that I can touch. So I think I should be here on the ground.
Fair enough.
The ground will be the more dangerous area.
Are you sure?
No. This is an assumption based on the fact the ground was most dangerous last time. If I am wrong, good luck.
My gods. But still has to be one of the most entertaining characters I've had. So, we have Soba on the ground crew. We have Frederick on the ground crew. We have Bastille is also on the ground crew.
Again, I don't think we're actually splitting the party.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're all on the ground crew and
out
you're
of
just
character.
setting up the NPCs.
All the
Yeah.
players are on the ground crew.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that makes the most sense.
So the NPCs are going to be up on the airship. And the party will all be down on the ground. And meanwhile, the camera pans over and focuses in on Kyrene. And she looks really deep in thought as she remembers a conversation she had with the king before leaving. And we kind of flash back to that, and the king took Kyrene aside just before you all headed out. And he said, there is a reason I had you called in here, Lady Kamuya. You were good friends with an immortal, as I understand. And Kyrene nodded and said, yeah, but he passed away in the attack. The king shook his head and said, no, milady, another immortal. I believe his name is Arthur. And at this point, Kyrene's eyes widened. And she said, what about him? The king says, he's been seen heading into that area recently. I thought you would want to go after him. And we've come back to her in the present day, and she asks herself, what would Arthur be doing out here? And also, as you all are kind of piling off the airship, we flash back to a conversation you all had with a woman just before leaving from Konaset. You were approached by a woman who looked extremely worried. And she said, I hear that you are all heading out into the western reaches.
Correct.
And she says, I have a favor to ask of you, if you'd please. My partner, Wesley Branton, he took a camping trip out to the Hilltop Valley area. But that was over a month ago. I haven't heard from him since. Please, I'm so worried about him. Could you go and check on him?
He is probably dead. But sure.
Bryson
Did you-
would have.
Have you reported him missing to anybody?
And while this conversation is going on, Ryson would have gently pushed Bastille backwards after saying that, pushing him.
Fair. Completely understandable.
The woman says, "I reported it to the Magi Guard, but of course, with no one going out to the western reaches, they can't do anything. That's why I have to ask you. The king has tasked you with going out to the western reaches, correct?"
Yes.
Or travels
I'm
fast.
gonna go with
but
yes. I'm pretty sure it's yes.
So,
Yes, he
What-
has.
Do you know where he would have gone, or what? Can you tell us what he looks like?
he went to the Hilltop Valley. He's about yay tall. She motions. It looks like about 5'6", and he's got kind of short, longish brown hair, and he has bright green eyes. And he is in his 30s.
Do you have anything of his?
She says, yes, and she hands you a ring. This belonged to his grandmother. He proposed to me just before he left.
What was this
I
person's
kind of
name?
like pat her hands.
Wesley Branton.
Her name?
Her name is
What is your name?
Maria.
Maria?
Yeah.
Maria, we can certainly try our best to find him. Or at least what happened to him.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
kind
so
of like
much.
look at everybody. I'm like, well, I can. And I hope. Anyways.
Yes, we are. We will most certainly find it.
I will shout for him as soon as we arrive.
And we flash back
Jump cut to the present moment.
Jump cut to the present moment, and Bastille
In which
is
I use bullhorn.
screaming out for him.
Oh no, not just screaming. I use bullhorn, in which my voice can be heard clearly up to 1,200 feet away, and just say, Wesley Branson, if you are alive, you are being requested to return.
Please report to the front desk, Wesley Branson.
Please report to the center clearing in which an airship is rising up from. The airship will return. Also, if there is anything hostile that would wish us to die, please report as well, so we may eliminate you.
I think you mean eliminate it.
Amazing.
Oh my
Depends
God.
on what they are.
Oh my God.
As we are heading, I'm trying to decide if this is worth it. As we're heading into, how far are we behind Kyrene and Hyokune and Grisane?
Gracian and Hyoko are quite far
Gracian,
off by
sorry.
now, and Kyrene, you could see her just like 50 feet up, and just as she turns the corner.
Oh, but they're like 50 feet away.
You can't see Hyoko and Gracian. You can't see them at all.
Yes, so those
Okay.
two went out first,
Okay.
then the next person followed, and we can see the person follow.
Yeah.
Got it. How far away is the large center building? roughly?
The large center building is about 300 yards away, you estimate.
Okay. I would like, as we head into the city, into the ruins of the city, and let me know, because it doesn't say in the spell description that I can't see where I'm going while I'm doing this, but let me know if you think I shouldn't be able to see where I'm going while I'm doing this. I would like to cast Prying Eye, which says, I'll just do this to try and see if it works. Okay, well, it's not posting it, but basically it's you create an invisible floating eye 1 inch in diameter at a location you can see within 500 feet. So I want to like create it basically 500 feet away above the as far away as I can cast it, and then but like up in the air, and then drop it down into the city so that it's ahead of us,
How do you have a 5th level spell?
and like push it forward as we're walking.
That's a 5th level spell.
Sorry, it is. Aren't we 9th level?
Yes.
Yes. Do I not have 5th level spells as a 9th level witch?
Oh, yes, you do.
I was gonna say I have 5th level spells. I'm a
Okay.
summoner.
Okay,
I'm like,
okay.
I'm pretty sure I did this all correctly.
Okay. I confused myself.
Yeah, I got 5th level spells as a 9th level witch.
Which in the remaster is now called rank. But I digress.
spell?
The spell level
Like a
is now
fifth-
spell rank.
That's probably a good
Oh,
thing,
okay,
so
spell
people
rank.
won't get us confused.
Yeah.
I think that's a good change.
Yeah. You create an invisible floating eye 1 inch in diameter at a location you can see within 500 feet. It sees in all directions with your normal visual senses, and continuously it transmits what it sees to you. So I'd imagine that you can see what you can see around you, because this is showing up in your mind's eye. So you're seeing this in your mind's eye,
Yeah.
just the same as well as seeing what is around you at the same time. Though
Yeah.
I would imagine you kind of slowed
so
down
effective-
so you can make sense of it all.
Yes. And so kind of like while we're walking towards the city, I want to kind of drop it down into like the area where we will be walking, so it can go ahead of us and basically like give us a
Sure.
preview and like warn if there's anything weird, going on or waiting for us.
Sure. And you're keeping track of your Mistia there?
Subtract those Misty points. Yes, let me
Okay.
delete these guys. I think that's actually 30. 20. Yeah, 29. Okay. Cool beans. There we go.
Alrighty. So, what is Bastille doing?
Well, after waiting for a little bit to see if the person's going to show up, decide that they're either not in range, or I assume they don't show up.
No, no one shows up.
Okay, so I assume either they aren't in range, 1, or they're dead, 2. And just kind of wait to see when others are ready to move to explore, and once they are, starts moving to explore.
Okay. And what is Ryson doing?
Um, once we start exploring, I'll probably be kind of sticking close to Soma, making sure because they're trying to. If assuming we see that she casts the spell, figuring that she's probably trying to process a lot of information and just kind of stay close just in case something happens.
Okay.
I think I'm also definitely like, as you're doing that, I'm like narrating kind of what I'm seeing, kind of
Okay.
just in like a constant sort of muttering stream of consciousness. Oh, that's a weird plant, sort of thing.
All right.
And then to get to use it for free, I'll go ahead and every hour use my see invisibility, which lasts 10 minutes. And then keep detect magic up as well.
All right. And I'm assuming, as always, Rick is taking point.
Yes.
And who is behind? I'm assuming like Soma's like in the back, sort of.
The not quite
Yeah,
back.
probably.
Soma's in the back probably, and Bryson, you said you were kind of back with her, kind of
Yes.
close to her. Okay.
Yes.
I think Bastille would actually
Soma?
take up the rear. Just because, like, the other tanky character, so to speak.
Okay. So Soma and Ryson are more in the middle. Soma and Ryson, as you enter the city, and just as you pass a building, you hear a voice behind you. It says, "The history of this place, quite interesting indeed. You know, the boy, he isn't the first survivor of trauma here. Oh, yes. There were others before." And as you turn, you see this man kind of leaning back against this wall of the building. And he
I
is,
don't like him.
and he has this top hat on, and he's wearing what looks like a circus uniform. Kind of like he's the ringleader of a circus.
Wait.
And he is holding a cane.
Is this a different outfit from Gareth's?
Yes, very different. Gareth is more of like
Okay,
a
okay.
magician. And he says, "There were others before. Curious that he would even come back here. The others, they never return. I can remedy that. I would take great pleasure in killing the girl as he watched, and then slice his abdomen so he dies as slowly as possible. Ah, what an exquisite way to hurt that telepathic woman who seems to delight in confounding me." And that is where I'm going to end today's session.
But I
Do I
didn't get to
also
cut
see
anything
this
in
individual?
half.
Yeah,
What was that?
You got to
I
I
cut
also
the
really don't
ham
like
in
this
half.
guy.
I was asking, do I see him considering I was behind them, or no?
Yeah, you see him.
Okay. Just clarifying in case
Yeah.
he was only appearing to certain people or not.
Yeah, you see him. Frederick is a bit further ahead, but we will come back to that next time. I want to
think we
thank
all know
our.
That's Bill's immediate question.
Who are you? Or are you what?
Yeah, asking if he's the lost person.
We will come back to that next time. I want to thank our viewers for watching us today, and remind everyone, if you want to learn more about Mystimon Saga, please check out the link in the description below. And we will be back in 2 weeks. And looks like September 7th. September 7th. We'll be back on September 7th at 6 p.m. Same place, same channel. And we will see you all then. Goodbye.
Be there or be square.